This is Queerful Editor-in-Chief Winnie McCroy, and I'm here with Nora Burns to talk about her new play opening on February 2nd called The Village, a Disco Daydream. Hi, Nora. How are you?
Hi, Winnie. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Now, it's been a little bit of time since the Unitard days when I first met you back in the
Uh,
early aughts in the city, and I know that you've kept yourself busy. And obviously, this is one of the things that has reaped from that. So I wanted to talk a little bit first about the play and how it came into existence. Can you tell me a little bit about what sparked this creativity?
yeah, I mean, we still do Unitard. We're still performing, and I love doing that. It's sort of my, wonderful release. Um, then in like 2017, I did a show called David's Friend at La Mama, and got really good reviews and ran for a while till we finally said okay. And I traveled with it for a while afterwards, and we actually just did a film version of it right before the pandemic. And it was, it was a show about, I mean, it was a comedy, but it was about my best friend, and it was about disco, and it was about New York. And so I always like to have sort of what's my next thing, but that was still very much in my mind. And like I always do with every show I do, from Unitard to that, I'm like, okay, what do I want to see? I like seeing things that are short, fast, funny, sexy, probably involve New York, are queer, and have disco. And so I was like, okay, I mean, my friend was still in my mind, and I got to New York in 1979, so it's this pivotal year for me. My favorite play is Our Town. So I was just like, okay, let's take all these elements of, my friends and back in the day and the music and the time and Our Town. But I like things to be kind of meta and weird and funny. And I love, you know, I'm not musical as in singing. And I'm not a dancer, but I love dancing.
Mhm.
So I teamed up with this friend of mine as a choreographer, Robin. And I was like, listen, I have this idea for some kind of, you know, disco musical based on Our Town. And she's like, I'm in, let me, I'd love to do it with you. And so the way I work is very not, I don't audition people, I don't um have specific ideas. I love to find people who are going to bring, who I trust, and we have the same sensibility, and they're just going to bring what they bring. So I kind of started writing the script, and I gave it to her, and she was like, okay, great. And I was like, whatever, I totally trust you, whatever numbers you want to put in, whatever songs you want to use. So we did a reading of it in 2019 at Dixon Place, and we were all set to open in May of 2020, but this crazy thing happened, which actually, for as far as the show went, it was actually a good thing, because I was a little bit rushed then, because I had a whole bunch of other things I was doing. So I put the show on the shelf and really didn't even know if I was going to do it again. But a few people who'd come and seen it were like, look at that. Do it. It's good. And all that time, Robin, the choreographer, she'd been thinking of more ideas. Like, she's hilarious. And I mean, what's great about her is she just has these funny, creative, crazy ideas. And then in the meantime, my friend Adam, who's been our stage manager, is this brilliant 31-year-old kid. I brought him in to be director, and gave me time to kind of revamp it. And um, so then I talked to Ellie at Dixon Place, and she was ready to put a show up this fall. So we're like, let's just do it. And just to do something post-pandemic, even if we get it up and it bombs or whatever, but it went well, and people really liked it, and it sold out, and we extended it. So
Yeah, Ellie Coven at Dixon Place really knows how to get the crowds in to see a show.
oh yeah. I mean, um, so it was nice. She had faith in us. And then, she was like, well, the theater's free in February. So, the cast was available, and we wound up, gave us a chance to tweak the script. And both Adam and Robin had all these new ideas. So, it's been really fun, and we've all become very much like a family, and I love the cast so much, and I love, the creative people, and it's been really fun.
That's so wonderful. And I see from your notes that this opens in New York City in 1979, which you just said was when you moved there. Did you lift any experiences from your early days in New York City and bring them to the pages of this play?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's, nothing's direct, but everything is like little, excerpts from what I know. And, it centers on this hustler who lives with a John, but, he can do his own thing, and he's got friends and boyfriends, and a lot of the characters are loosely based on people that I know. And there are certain moments in it that are very, taken from experience, but so
That is fantastic. And I see the music. You say it's a Valentine to New York City, and you mentioned Donna Summer. Is the music really focusing on that disco era as far as the soundtrack of the play?
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there actually, I don't actually think there is any Donna Summer in it, but there's everything else. So what I loved about Robin was she and I completely share this love of I mean, I've literally been listening to old disco since it was just disco, and that's literally all I listen to still to this day. So
Wow, you're the last holdout, Nora.
I know. Well, there are a few of us, and there are some new converts. Even my it's funny, my 21-year-old daughter, who grew up listening to that music, she has a little radio show now at college, and that's what she plays because that's what she grew up listening to. And I think there are people who discover it who are like, that was when there was such, heart and soul in music, and the lyrics were amazing, and the voices were amazing, and then if you also have it like that's the music of your youth, it kind of gives an added punch to it. But
Absolutely. And now you put this within the construct of Our Town, and I know Our Town relies on a narrator for to move some of the action along. Does your play also have a narrator in that?
yes, we have a stage manager who's played by Glace Chase, who's wonderful. So she does a brilliant job with it. So
That's great. And you said in your description that you wanted it to be fast and fun and queer and exciting. And do you hit those benchmarks that you wanted to hit?
I think so. I mean, the sort of me and Robin and Adam all share a similar sensibility. So I just love watching what they, and I'm very not precious about what I write. I'm like, if a joke isn't landing, get rid of it. If some monologue's too long, get rid of it. So, I just really, the show was like an hour 15. I think we've cut it down to an hour 10. But incredible fun dance numbers, and it moves.
That's going to be really attractive to people who want to see a show and still have the rest of the night out on the town.
That's me. I'm in like very few shows am I committed to for a whole, evening. Shorter, faster, funnier. I don't know what there isn't. You can say everything in an hour. So.
I like that. It shows a lot of discipline as a writer to be able to cut things short and to be able to put your ego aside like you have in deference to the show succeeding. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's self-indulgent to think that you need something to be 2 hours long. So
there's got to be some great costumes for this show. Can you tell folks a little bit about what they are going to see as far as 70s apparel?
Yeah, well, Paul Alexander, my friend, was a fabulous musician and writer, performer himself. I brought him in to do the costumes, and I mean the thing is, it's 1979, but we didn't want it to be caricature 1979. It's also very meta, so things are in the current day, and we'll make a reference to like OnlyFans or so, we're definitely, it's wink, wink, 1979. And then there's a whole period that, a whole bit of the show that takes place in 1994, and the present. So it had to be sort of just fun costumes that would kind of, bridge all of those things. But I didn't, I didn't want some costumey, you know, Saturday Night Fever look.
So no glad rags hokum from you.
Not really. No, it's pretty it's fun and sexy, but I didn't want to look like, literally yesterday one guy was just, his costume was too, like, he was supposed to be kind of a preppy guy, but it was too, like, it just looked like textbook, and it was just like, no, we have to, this is a real person, not a caricature. So
I hear that. Now, since you mentioned sexy, I noticed that this play, The Village, Disco Daydream, name drop, is running from February 2nd to 24th at Dixon Place, and Valentine's Day is right in the middle of the run. Is this a good date for Valentine's Day?
We actually don't have a show on Valentine's Day. We have kind of a funny schedule because we're the second and third. We're Thursday, Friday. Then there was something booked there the following Thursday, Friday. So we moved that week's shows to Sunday, Monday, which is kind of nice. So we have one matinee and we have one Monday night for any Broadway folk who want to come. And then we're Thursday and Friday again. But we skip over Valentine's Day, so you can go have a romantic evening. But
right, a romantic Monday this year, right?
But
everybody knows Tuesday. Romance is Monday is for romance.
Exactly. Well, I think it's, because our show is on Monday the 13th, so I think the 14th is a Tuesday. But it's a sexy show. We got little, got lots of inappropriate touching. So
that sounds promising.
Yeah.
So should people embrace this and put on their own disco garb to come to the show and be part of it?
Oh, sure. We wind up, because the nice thing about Dixon Place is there's that lounge upstairs. So, everyone goes to the bar upstairs afterwards. And a couple nights Sandra Bernhardt was there last time, and we were all dancing till like 1 a.m. and, we get the music on, and it's fun.
That sounds like a damn good time.
It is.
I love it.
You can't not have a good time with disco. So
I hear you. So as we roll up our interview to a close, Nora, I want to ask in parting, what is next for you after this achievement? What comes next for Nora Burns?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. And I've been thinking about that, because I'm like, usually I sort of have my next thing, and I'm not sure. I'm just hoping that, I get like, a little spark. I mean, of course, want to be doing another Unitard show. But I don't know, after working with like a cast of 10 and a big crew, it might be something that's more pared down and solo-ish again. But, I'm just hoping the spark hits. So if you have any ideas, let me know.
I will. And I hope that you break all of the legs.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope you get to come see it. Come see it. Okay.
All right, will do. Well, thank you so much. This is Winnie McCroy, Queerful Editor-in-Chief, here with playwright and performer Nora Burns for The Village, Disco Daydream.
Great.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.